What's up, tricksters and tricksettes? And finally, after 3 years, we've got a Harbor rework. 3 years of mental suffering and pain for this Indian Giga Chad. Today I'm gonna tell you everything about Harbor. Should you play it in ranked? Which tier is the Harbor now, like in our agent tier list? And is it even worth it, like, you know, considering this agent as a solo controller in ranked solo queue? I'm only gonna speak about ranked because, you know, I'm only coaching players like for the last 6 years in ranked solo queue, and I'm a Radiant coach. I'm not a pro team coach. So first, let's talk about one very important topic. Why was the previous Harbor so effing bad for ranked solo queue? The reason is very simple. Like, which agents are the best agents for ranked solo queue grind? The agents that can be consistent, the agents that are the most versatile, and the agents that are the most self-sustainable. You know, agents such as Phoenix, Omen, Cove, Chamber, Jet, Valet, Raze, you know, all of these agents, they have consistent setups. They can play enormous amount of different scenarios, get away with a lot of different shit if they get in a shitty position, but also, you know, they can create a lot of different shit and a lot of different outplays that make them so powerful. And the previous Harbor literally had none of these. You know, Harbor was always imagined to be some kind of a hybrid between a controller and initiator with a lot of smokes. So basically, like, every single piece of his utility on a team play level, it can be very useful actually on some maps. But on a solo level, he has nothing for himself. The High Tide, the problem of this ability is that it is mega inconsistent. It can always leave some gaps on the map, left and right. Like, and not only that, in order to put this ability properly down on the ground, you always need to play in some very specific positions, very specific angles, which is absurd in ranked solo queue. Like, this ability kinda disallows you to scale up properly with your teammates, to play a proper refray game, and to do something. You know, you're always relying on your teammates to do something, essentially. Then, another problem of these abilities is that, especially the High Tide, who in their right mind, in Riot Games, made a decision, your own smoke is slowing you down, and your teammates as well. How does that make sense, bro? Then, another problem of Harbor, the only real smoke that he has, like the Cove ability that you drop. So not only that your High Tide is not consistent, it reveals your position, it slows down your teammates, and also, like, most of the times it's not gonna do a proper job on most of the maps. You have a Cove that you need to, you know, drop like a Killjoy Molotov. And yes, sometimes this Cove was good, sometimes it did nothing. In the post plants as well, like, I would argue that this ability was a bit useless in ranked solo queue. Like, I mean, literally, this ability, 5-6 bullets, and your smoke is gone. That also doesn't make sense. Like, why does my smoke disappear after I destroy the shield of the smoke? And I invested like 200-300 credits into this ability. While Omen has 2 rechargeable smokes, like, Clove has 2 and she can do the smokes after the death as well. Brimstone has 3 smokes. Astra has 2 real smokes, and you can also do, you know, fake smokes if you pull them out. Makes no sense. Then, this ability, basically this Cascade, was probably the best ability in his previous kit, and the most valuable one. Like, this ability was actually very powerful, very good. It allows you to recreate the space in various different ways to scale up, to outplay the enemies, deny information, deny vision. But once again, like, why does my wall, my aggressive wall, slow down me and my teammates? No sense, once again. And the ultimate, I mean, the previous ultimate, it was okay. It's probably not gonna stun the enemies. You know, it was pretty easy to escape the stun, but at least it reveals the enemies, it pressures them to move, and if they get stunned, like, you know, you're probably gonna get a kill, unless some bullshit happens where, you know, enemies that are fully stunned, they actually kill you with 1 bullet to the head. This type of a kit is just mega useless for ranked environment and ranked solo queue. In the last 3 years, we made like 8 different tier lists. In 8 tier lists, I put him literally at F tier. But we got a different Harbor. But a different Harbor that's basically the same with a bit of an oomph, you know, in his kit. And personally, I think they could have done a better job with this rework, and they could have changed the agent in a different way. Like, first thing that you can notice in his kit is he doesn't have a Cascade anymore. I mean, his Cascade is basically his ultimate now. And this Cascade ability, like, as I said, this was probably the most powerful ability in his kit. You deny enormous amount of vision, you can slow down the enemies, you can create the different pathings. So I don't know why did they decide to remove this instead of something else. In this trailer of his rework, the first thing you can see is how he is using the High Tide. And basically, the High Tide ability is literally the same as before. Now it's not a signature ability, it's just a regular ability, which is better for his kit. But I still have a problem with this ability. This ability is very hit or miss. A lot of times you're not gonna have a range to support your teammates and use it in time. A lot of the times, like, what's also gonna happen is maybe you're in some kind of a clutch or you want to keep your location a secret. If I do this type of wall, enemies know exactly where that wall came from. And on top of that, like, it is still slowing down you and your teammates and enemies and everybody. I think the best way to change this ability, okay, it's very good that it is not a signature ability anymore. But the thing is that this ability needs to be placed in a different way. Maybe same as a Viper Wall. Give Harbor a Viper Wall that is just of water, and that it slows down the enemies. Now, his first ability now, instead of a Cascade, is this little blob. And what does this blob do? Basically, after a short period of time, once it is deployed on the ground, and it's this whirlpool, you slow down the enemies and you nearsight them. That's another questionable thing. Nearsight already got nerfed a bit. You slow down the enemies, okay, maybe it's okay for some combos or in these long-range corridors, like, you know, enemies are pushing, I don't know, B-long of bind, and you drop this whirlpool onto them, nearsight them, and you kill them from this angle, like, they're also slowed down, like, maybe you can combine this ability with a raise nade, and, you know, demolish the enemies at the start of the round and take space. But at the end of the day, this ability is kinda very mid. It's once again one of those hit or miss abilities. Then we come to his biggest change, to be honest, which is his ultimate. Now, the ultimate is basically a Cascade. You drop a big-ass Cascade that is traveling towards the enemies. Here on the minimap you can see how big it is. This looks like Breach Ultimate, which is not that big, but still decent enough. And it is super high ability, like it's a High Tide, that, you know, blocks the vision for you and your teammates as you're scaling up. And also, every single enemy that is hit by this ability is nearsighted and slowed down. Now, I just need to ask one thing. Everything in this game is pretty intuitive. When you see the Omen Paranoia, it is intuitive for a beginner that shit is gonna flash him. You see the Reyna Eye, the Reyna Leer, it is intuitive for a beginner that ability is gonna, you know, blind him as well, or shoot at him or something like that. But brother, the guy is dropping water in your face. Like, what, you're blind from the salt? Like, it literally makes no sense. But okay, you know, that's just a game design point. Like, I don't wanna get into that, but it looks so weird. You know, I'm dropping a whirlpool onto the enemies, like that. Instead of sucking them down, it is blinding them. Now, listen, like this ultimate ability, it's okay. Is this really better than the previous ultimate of Harbor? I would say probably yes. The problem with this ability is, like, I think that this new High Tide is better for team play, but it is worse for solo carry potential. And finally, actually one positive change and one good change for that actually makes a lot of sense. His Cove is obviously now the regular smoke, and now you put it in the same way that you put the Omen smokes. And as far as we can see from this, you know, trailer, the distance of his smokes is same as Omen. Hear me out. This rework here with this ability is actually really good. This ability was so useless, so hard to place, requires such a high skill ceiling for almost nothing. I mean, enemies just, you know, shoot 5 bullets and the smoke is already down, like whatever, 10 bullets. Ooh. This is actually a good change that now he's placing the smokes like Omen, but I have only one problem here. Why not give him 2 smokes? When is 1 smoke ever gonna be enough for your teammates? Especially in ranked solo queue, and especially on the defender's side. For an example, like, what would make this agent really good and really viable in ranked solo queue? Give him 2 of these abilities. You know, you can place 2 smokes, same as Omen. You have a separate button to like activate the shield, and that's it. Then the agent is actually good. Basically, you put a smoke, and then you can reactivate the ability, and the little shield pops up when you reactivate it, and that's the shield. But once again, when you activate this shield and enemies destroy the shield, your smoke is immediately gone. There needs to be some kind of a compromise here. Like, I don't know if this is any good. This is a rework that is in a really good direction. Maybe it is worse for pro play, but better for ranked. But he needs more power. I would still rather play Astra over this shit. Every solo controller has some kind of a gimmick that makes him super powerful. Viper, reactivation of Smoke's abilities, deals a lot of damage, plus the ultimate is annoying on both attack and defense to deal with. Brimstone, the guy has a Steam Beacon, Molotov, 3 smokes, and a big Chungus ultimate to clear the space and win the rounds for free. Omen and Cove I'm not gonna mention, like they're literally the best solo controllers in ranked forever. Astra, I mean, like stun, pool, fake smoke, real smoke, then the vault to plant the spike, go for a retake, like that. Maybe in pro play you will see Harbor a few times, but considering how they changed the meta, even that is highly unlikely. My final opinion when it comes to this rework is that they had the right idea, but they still missed one point, which is most of the players are playing ranked solo queue. Most of the players just cannot rely on team play, and most of the agents need some kind of a gimmick or some kind of fun to make them viable in ranked solo queue. So we're finally going to remove the infamous F tier, but to be completely fair, like he doesn't deserve more than D tier. He's still at the bottom. I can't, like, literally, how can you put this agent in ranked solo queue anywhere else? Like, I'm really happy to see like how the new rework is gonna look like in 3 years from now. Until then, just don't play this fucking agent. Like, don't do it. On my Discord server, you have a playbook for every single map on Omen. Literally, I'm teaching people here how to dominate with Omen and Cove. Leave a like, subscribe, leave a comment. Thank you for watching, and see ya in the next one.